Some people during the live stream were saying they should have given castorice for free because of the global passive. I just think it doesn't need to exist in the first place, man. Okay, I think because this is coming to the game, I think a lot of people are not going to take HSR seriously anymore. So, from what I understand, this first part of the stream is mostly story and lore, right? Which is inherently not a bad thing, but I think what makes it feel not great is what they squeezed into essentially like the second half, right? Blade is not standard. You can't get Blade on standard. Was hit only when you lose a 50-50 on the limited banner. So the standard banner is not changed. It's just the pool of characters that you could lose a limited banner on. A little confusing, but makes sense when you think about it. Got it. Okay. All right. So introduction of castorice, a brief mention of our global passive, and then you know what started to bother me, chat? Yes, global passive is definitely controversial. You know what I think bothers me more though? The fact that after this, it felt like the stream was a little bit like rushed, disconnected, so to speak. Because like they explained quite a bit about castorice's kit. I was like, okay, this is fair. Like we got a lot of information about it. And I get that when they explained her global passive, they justified it by saying that she's like closely tied with death. And I'm like, not quite what we want to hear as players, that something that impactful is related to her lore, but okay, cool. I think it's more about not spoiling too much, but why? I at least wanted a little bit more about his ultimate. That's what looks impressive, right? Okay, so also what I'm understanding is Anoxa energy based, or is it based off of weakness implants and the count of them? Yes, energy based. Okay.
Yeah, and Acheron is closely related with Nihility itself, so where's her global passive that just destroys the entire memory of chaos to directly deposit the stellar jades to my account with that f***ass logic?
Well, that's actually good though. I like that. Okay, so sure, fine. And then after this, they discuss, oh, this weirdness, right? Okay, not weirdness in the sense that they're doing a 4-character phase 1 and a 2-character phase 2, but the weirdness that Dr. Ratio is considered, this just seems out of place. I think Dr. Ratio being solo with Anoxa on the second half is a bit out of place, considering that he was given for free. I feel like Dr. Ratio is viewed as a free character. He's almost like half standard. Not quite standard, but like it feels half standard. So it is what it is. I get that he needs a rerun, so it is fine. And then we get to event some event stuff. It took a lot of time to explain the seal thing. We get Bubbles as a new pet. We're also getting a little challenge system, and then they showed castorice's Netherwing dealing a lot of damage. 500k here. That is pretty nice. Wait, so castorice's Remembrance summons Netherwing, but does massive AoE damage, also consumes HP like a destruction character, and probably scales off of crit. Some people during the live stream were saying they should have given castorice for free because of the global passive. You know, I just think it shouldn't exist, and I just think it doesn't need to exist in the first place, man. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll discuss more about it because yeah, and then we get this system optimizations. Auto salvage I like, but this auto discard I think it's risky. Yeah, auto discard ooh, dude, this is so risky. Wait, let's see how it works here. Let's see how it works here. Oh my god. When you click on the button, it just selects the fucking stuff. You don't even get to see what's being thrown away. Maybe 0 enhancements. No. 0 enhancements is some, yeah, I don't know if I want to do this. This looks a little... Guys, do you think this immediately discards them though? Like when you press confirm here, does it just like turn them all into relic remains? Or like, yeah, it probably does. Or does it, oh wait. Maybe this just puts a discard symbol. So it's fine. It's not that bad. But if it actually like destroys them, then it's a little sus. Also, yeah, what the fuck is discard protection? Damn, they're really leaving a lot of questions to be answered on the real patch, but you know, it is what it is. For the most part, that feature is like a positive, right? This feature you just don't need to use. It's not even that bad. And then they're giving this business event where you can get more rewards. This new light cone is a reward from this event, right? It's a 2nd anniversary event is the business thing. And then from that 2nd anniversary event, you can get this new light cone, which is a erudition light cone. Just a reminder for this page, those of you guys who are seeing this, you are choosing a character to give you like a happy birthday message. But in this case, it's a 2-year anniversary thing. You're not getting a free character. You're not getting a free character. Just gonna repeat that like 80 fucking times. You're not getting a free character from this. You're choosing someone to give you a little happy smiley face message, okay? And also you get 1,600 extra jades and 10 times fuel, which previously they just showed that they're gonna give a 7-day login thing where you're gonna get 20 summons. Nice. Okay, cool. That's 30 summons, and then you get 3x. I feel like these should be changed. This has to be the most mid second anniversary to give, I think. I feel like you guys would have preferred like another event for free stellar jades. Another event would have been better there. Second anniversary celebration. They dropped that they're doing a concert, which is cool. They also dropped they're doing a annual fan art competition, which is cool. Maybe we'll see like a Starrail festival or something. We also get this, which is, oh yeah, we get two. Oh my God, there's actually so much in this second half, right? Exchange for a free limited 5-star character. For the most part, de facto recommendations basically set them off. Prioritize E0 and then E1 Ruan Mei, and then who knows what you want to do after that. E0 and E1 Ruan Mei are the highest priorities out of this. Getting Luocha in this state, I can only currently see him being used with My Day. I don't know if he's going to be that useful in the future beyond My Day. And like before My Day, he's not really the premium support, right? Most people are running towards Lingsha or Aventuring for shields or Huehui for energy funneling. Maybe Luocha is moderately useful in the future, maybe unpower crept. Do you guys think maybe if you save this, we can exchange for something like later on? Yes. It says right there, does it? Do you think they'll rotate these limited 5-star characters out? Because I see that you can do it for permanent 5-star characters, but they'll add new ones into it. Interesting. Okay, so then de facto recommendation now changes to get E0 Ruan Mei or E1 Ruan Mei if you really need her, and then save the coin unless you don't have Luocha and you want Luocha, I suppose. And then we get an informant of this thing where you can convert past E6, so E7 plus copies of characters into things that you can convert. Oh, okay, wait, no, this makes more sense now. So this coin is savable because you can get an infinite amount here. Okay, now it makes more sense. So I didn't really connect those two things. But you're given a gold coin, but you can make more gold coins with silver coins. And then you can buy as many of these guys as you want. I mean, this is good, I think, right? If they're adding more limited 5s into this that you can essentially buy. Okay, wait. This actually makes the golden companion thing a lot more valuable because most of you guys will only have one for like a long time. So it actually is a priority to save this coin, I think. Like maybe even you don't exchange it for Ruan Mei if you already have her E0. Maybe that's the case then. Makes sense for people to pick characters they have that are standard with C6 in the 50-50 selector because it would mean they would technically get a character of choice from the shop. I mean, yeah, you could abuse that if you wanted to. Okay, let's go to this next section because that is related to this. So in this character event warp optimization, if you don't give a shit about any of these characters, you can technically fill your pool of 7 with characters you already have E6 to increase the quote-unquote chance that you get a coin. You could do that. That's probably what whales will do, right? Or whales will probably have E6 of everything anyway. But yeah, I think that is not bad. Oh wait, there's a question. Is this retroactive? Am I gonna log in to 3.2 with like 10 coins? Ooh, I wonder what Twitter posts we're gonna see, guys. People log in and they have like 100 fucking coins or some shit. The Hoyolab post says it? Okay, not in the live stream though. That's fair. That's funny. What if there's some giga whales out there who have like E30 of every standard character? You don't have enough copies of standards? I know. I'm not gonna get that many, but you know, it is what it is. Wait, guys. Isn't this backwards to making more money? Isn't this backwards? Because aren't they actually losing a lot of money from whales that don't need to spend in the future to get certain characters because they actually have this repertoire? No, HSR rerun stats are abysmal. They already don't make much money at all on reruns. Okay. Do you think maybe this is just to make whales happy to keep spending money on the game? It's maybe more of like a happiness boost. All right, this light cone stuff. What exactly happened here for the light cones? Let's take a look at this. So right here, these limited 5-star light cones and standard 5-star light cones will also be added to the exchange shop. So how do you get a light cone memory shard?
从3.2版本开始，开拓者可以通过无名课的荣勋和无名课的奖章来获取光锥兑换代币。代币的使用是没有。
What is nameless metal and nameless the mother?
商店内。 从3.2版本开始，开拓者可以通过无名课的荣勋和无名课的奖章。
Kinda useless, no? I thought it would have been cool, like if you get like multiple copies of a light cone, you can exchange that light cone if you don't want it for memory shards. That would have been cool, you know? Like maybe for example, you get a bunch of like Clara LCs. Yeah, you have like R5 of her or whatever, and you have like 7 or whatever the hell. Maybe you could have like discarded one for like some memory shards or something. Buy 4 battle passes for 1 old ass limited light cone. So it's like very minorly beneficial, but mostly useless for most of the player base. Like their other thing. Okay, so these features are genuinely like incredibly nichely beneficial, but mostly unaffecting most of the player base.
时间
Very
限制很
interesting.
贴心。
同去年一样，国老梦华也将迎来首充双倍重置。
First time top up bonus. Yay, guys. Time to spend another $100 or more for all those doubles. And then we talk about the buffs. They really spend 5 seconds talking about this.
净流就会迎来加强。
太好了，确实是提上日程了。
对的，而且是对角色本体进行加强。
I skipped
具体方
forward
案
a
会在
frame
后
and
续
it's
版本公布
gone.。
哦，那我就等着看后面的一
It's
些
not
官方
okay.
信息
It's
了
in。future
并
patches.
且
Okay,
在
this is
今年
letting
呢
you know.
也会有
And then this is also the same thing. This is like getting a doctor ratio. Okay, I got it. Okay.
全新的限定5星角色直接免费获取，
Okay,
请
this
大
is
家
like
期待
damage
一下。
control.
会发布一段
Okay,
出现一
animated
个片
short.
段，
Cool.
与开头
Animated short. Yeah.
和这个
And
类
then they
别
do
把
this
一些
finality mission in 3.8. And then they're just like, see ya.
上感谢开拓者的观看。
我们再次祝开拓者2周年快乐。
Okay. I do want to discuss this.
可以和死龙一起释放连携攻击，死龙打出的伤害会更高。是的，保护大家。
All right.
那的确，
I've been hearing a lot of things about this, guys. This global passive that we're talking about. Most of you guys in chat that are watching me probably agree that this thing is a questionable design decision. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, here's the thing. This is what I was talking with Bougie in DMs about, okay? The global passive isn't even good. That's the weird thing. Like, the passive itself is not even a good passive. But why did they make it? To make us angry. You know, why would you even make it like this? Make us think of all the bad shit that you could do with it. You know what I'm saying? To lay the groundwork for more powerful ones later, then people are used to it. I mean, by that point, I feel like people are not going to take this game seriously. I don't want that to happen. Okay, I think because this is coming to the game, I think a lot of people are not going to take HSR seriously anymore. There's people who don't care about it because it doesn't affect them who are still going to play the game. Right? But then I think the biggest fear, and it's a totally valid fear, is that a lot of gacha players right now, we are suffering from, how do I put this? Economic restraints. Like people who are F2P Dolphin, who don't have enough money to just continuously shill out stuff, right? And like, you know, they're spending a little bit, they're buying the BP and the welcome, and they see this change being added and they feel a little bit of pressure. That's what I think affects, because I feel like people who have a lot of disposable income don't give a fuck. But this hurts a lot of the casual player base. You guys know the dynamic of these gacha games, right? Whales and dolphins support the game, but the casual players make up a reason for the whales and dolphins to spend money on the game. If there are only whales and dolphins left, what's the point? It just becomes this fucking rat race, and you're just chasing the next hot power crept character. And I don't want to get started with Anaxa, because I don't know what the hell his 7 weakness implant erudition thing is gonna do with whatever the hell, man. I don't know. Guys, at this point, do we even need weakness types on enemies? Like, we're probably gonna get to the state of the game where like weakness types is just not gonna happen. Like everyone is just, yeah.
The amount of people who are completely glossing over the implications of global passives being added into the game plus ignoring the state of the game because of the rewards is whack. HSR players not beating the shiny ADHD TikTok attention span allegations zding.
I mean, so this is where I think the discussion gets into more subjective and feeling, because if you think about the future of these games and they add something like a global passive, you get scared about more and more broken global passives coming out. That is the logical conclusion of this design decision, right? Like if it were me and I was like, you know, trying to like design the future of HSR and I chose to do this is like paving way for potential for others, right? And then we get to this thing where like, are you on the fence of, do you believe in HSR to not make broken ones? Or are you fearful of HSR to make giga broken ones that will cause you to do FOMO? I don't think that's a good foundation to be in. I don't think it's wise to put your consumer base in this kind of like half like, oh, they're not gonna do anything bad with it. Or, oh, I don't think I can keep up anymore. That's what happens with this type of thing. And that's why I don't personally like it, right? Keep up with who? It's a PvE game. Yeah, we can get into discussion of like, yeah, you don't need all of these characters. You don't need this and that. But guess what happens, man? Guess what happens? Okay, I'll give you a real experience that I faced. I made an early access video on Tribby. And I said, hey, if you have all of the other Harmony supports, you don't need Trippy. You're not competing with anyone. You don't need her. Guess what happened? That was a mistake. Everyone wants fucking Trippy because she's the most broken Harmony support in the game, and you don't do enough damage without her. Do you need her? No, you don't need her. But now everyone is comparing things to her. So now I'm just like, I will not do that next time. I will say, hey, if you have all of the characters, should you go for Trippy? Yeah, you should go for Trippy because she's gonna be broken and she's gonna be the first choice for you every single time. Chat, don't we all wish that it not being a PvP game makes things easier? I don't think it makes things easier. I think the game being PvE, I think like most gachas are like that. All of these gachas that we play, you're just comparing your fucking EP size. I don't care, you are still sexy at the end of the day. I am on the side of my viewers because that's who I cater to, right? And so I don't like the passive. Do you guys think anything's gonna happen to it? Do you guys think like any change is gonna happen? No, right? Like I get reminded of like the Xlice situation with Genshin. That one was bad. I don't know if you guys remember multiple years ago, but that one was like holy level of bad and they actually did something. But this, I feel like, I don't want to say they're getting away with it, but like they designed it in a way that if this global passive were something more broken, we would have a problem. But because this global passive is something that is genuinely useless for most people, it's not that much of a problem. How often do you think they're going to make a character like this, chat? And how useless do you think the ability is going to be? Because I feel like it has to be useless. Probably every new character moving forward. Do you think so? Anaxa doesn't have one, right? As far as I'm concerned. Anaxa doesn't have one. We have to think of who are they? Cypher and Hyacinth or whatever the those two are. It can get as bad as half of Robin's kit being able to be relegated to a global passive. So I think this is where we stand, chat. I think that people who are fearful of the game and want to get out are validated. I think that at the end of the day, this global passive thing is a net negative for the game, regardless of how good or bad it is, because people will think about it in a negative way. People will be fearful and people will leave because of it. People will decide, hey, I don't want to play this game anymore. There's a lot of other gadgets I can choose. There's other people who are like, hey, this thing doesn't matter to me, so I don't care. I'm a casual player, I only play story, so I don't care. That's fair. I think the main purpose of me discussing this in this kind of way is to validate both sides. I'm on the side of people who don't want it because as an early access person who provides this information, it's not good for me, right? It's not good for my audience as well. Also, chat, I have a question, and this is also another topic that we should discuss a little bit. What do you guys think of Anax's kit? Boring. He has a kit. I wish I knew what it did. Okay, besides the fact that this live stream did not say anything about the kit, okay? Pretty to watch at least? Yeah. Can you explain it? No, I don't even know anything about it, man. Alchemy is a unique form of art. Anaxa uses a shotgun. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because, like, when I see him being able to weakness implant all this shit, I'm thinking to myself, like, at this point, where are we going with character design? Is the path just for a light cone restriction? Is type weakness just a fake thing that doesn't actually... Like, you know what I'm saying? What is the point of all the stuff that we originally had in the game? Path is for LC and Emanator synergy. I mean, it's pretty limited, right? Because like they used to have an identity of like erudition is AoE, nihility is debuffing, hunt is crit based, abundance is healing, preservation is shielding, right? Like we had set designs for the characters, but now we're having characters do everything. Remembrance, okay, yeah. Remembrance is, God knows what remembrance is, man. Hunt was supposed to be single target. Or Pat, is it already no point start from Acheron? No, Acheron still fits her bill, right? Acheron's nihility based, and she is debuff based. Her ult is charged by debuff, so it's not like it doesn't make sense. But Acheron, it starts to bleed into erudition, right? Because she is full AoE. And like, you can definitely see Acheron and the Herta being very, 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 very similar. In like, a different sense. Acheron charges her stuff by debuffs. Herta charges her stuff by allies doing attacks. So it's like they're fairly similar in that sense. How do you guys feel about the power creep speed in this game? That's why I brought up Anaxa, because when I looked at Anaxa, I was like, this is very clear, like, what the f are we doing? I wanted to slow down. I think releasing only 1 unit per patch would help a lot. Oh, wait, that's true. HSR is speedrunning character releases as well. The Herta into Xlice, into Trippy, into Maide, into castorice, into Anaxa, into Cypher, into Hyacinth. That's actually crazy, man. Last 4-star was September 2024. Well, at some point there was need power creep jump. You think so? I think the game would be equally successful if they added characters with unique designs. Like, instead of breaking their game in terms of like this, they could have broken their game in terms of gameplay, you know? Like tried something different, even if it's like weak, but make it like they can break their own rules of turn-based. I don't fucking know, man. Like, obviously it's turn-based gacha, but you can probably do some crazy shit. Their power creep killed their rerun sales, which they are damage controlling now with all this weird stuff. That is true. The more characters they add, the more reruns hurt. The more reruns hurt, the more they double down into new characters. Even as a turn-based game, I'll excuse power creep within reason, but them insisting on 2 5s per patch means that HSR has more constrained mechanics. Basic seal ult means that they can just run into a point where the solution has to be just bigger numbers because you have so much kit design overlap. Yeah, that's true. That's what I'm saying. They should, like, you know, try to implement some cool shit. Wait, guys, like the design of characters is also changing, right? Instead of getting unique designs for each path, characters are becoming more like all the paths are starting to bleed together. And then Harmony characters are starting to reduce their complexity. Like, the stronger the Harmony character gets, the more they don't need to do shit. And I noticed that very heavily with Tribi. I was like, wow, they are really making characters that have an aura buff, both for res pen and for vulnerability percent, based off of the own character speed. So you just fucking press 2 buttons and AFK on that character for the whole match. And what the
Rules are made to be broken was something I've heard to justify characters breaking their path constraints, but I can't see that applying to Remembrance because their purpose outside of Memo sprites of 0 constraints. What rules are going to be broken when there are no rules to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, Ruanmei does the same thing. I'm not saying that she doesn't do it. I'm saying that, like, the characters are becoming more, and like Sparkle, more skill points just means that, like, you know, that was cool. I kind of like Sparkle's design. Yeah, it does seem like fairly like simplistic, but adding skill points changes up the gameplay a little bit. These characters are just becoming, let me give you super OP buff, let me not move, let me do auto stuff by passive, right? Sparkle got power grab within the same major. Okay, well, you know, yeah, I know Sunday. Okay, okay. Well, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, okay, it is what it is, man. Boot Hill didn't even get a chance to shine before Firefly came out. These are just immediate examples of why this game should just slow down a little bit and it wouldn't hurt the game that much. Like, these are just examples, and I'm like, damn, you know?
What makes all this BS even worse for me is that all this nonsense is on top of another patch with minimal content for like the 5th patch in a row. We get some story, some small new areas and 2 events. So much focus is 2 new characters every patch, on rewards and monetizing the game, but when it comes to the actual content itself, it's pushed to the wayside. Comparing HSR to Xlice's event Avalanche or Genshin's massive open world areas plus events, there's constantly nothing to do.
Guys, and this entire, okay. I mean, I'm reading this comment and I'm thinking to myself, wow, HSR really is limited by turn-based. It actually just straight is. Everything is blockaded by this turn-based mechanic. You can't do open world exploration with turn-based. It becomes weird, right? So you can't explore new areas. You can't have that like real-time immediate combat. You can't do any of that. Because the minute you go into something, you have to open up the instance of turn-based, right? And you have to fight like that. The thing that works around that is Acheron, but then Acheron deletes the entire purpose, right? You just fucking E/ right through the enemy, and then that's it. There's nothing beyond that. But here's the thing. To end this video for all my YouTube frogs, I am still going to create early access, and I am going to get more into the story because I think the story is good. And so that will be my main focus. I will give you guys as honest of an opinion for all of the early access characters that I can. So I'm not going anywhere. And then I'll stick around for story for the most part. And then, you know, we'll see where that takes us. But for those of you guys who are like, damn, you know, HSR is in a pretty fickle spot. It's totally reasonable and it's totally understandable if you're like, man, this is, you know, this doesn't matter to me. I'm still gonna play the game, or like this doesn't seem like it's worth my time. So it's all good. Whatever feelings you have on the game, it's all reasonable. Let me know in the comments. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching this. Hope you guys are not too upset, but I understand if you are. And we'll see you guys on the next video. All right. Glorp.